Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Driffin, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I serve as a co-founder of Thrive SS. Together with more than 1 million Americans, I'm living with HIV.
Today, my friend Daniel Driffin is here. Daniel Driffin, welcome back, always enlightening us. Daniel served as co-chair of the Fulton County Task Force on HIV and AIDS.
Everyone deserves to be healthy.
He is also the co-founder of a patient advocacy and social support network based in Atlanta, Georgia, called Thrive Support Services Incorporated. Holding a master's degree of public health from Morehouse School of Medicine, today Daniel discusses his passion and mission to study and improve viral suppression rates in the Deep South and elevate meaningful involvement and solutions that will reduce persistent disparities among men of color living with HIV.
There's no one way to get to the finish line.
The final episode of Coffee and Conversations, Vision and Purpose, starts now. We wanted to create something that was inspiring, empowering, relatable. A safe space that we can discuss life and career as it relates to us. I believe that we all have different journeys, but similar struggles. Why not learn from each other by listening and conversing? That's what it's all about. For us, by us. This is Coffee and Conversations.
Okay.
My purpose is...
My purpose is, I think, to assist individuals in tapping in their ultimate health, their optimal health. That looks like currently ensuring folks have the information that they need to be healthier. Whether or not that is knowing about policy, knowing about research, knowing about access points, but just truly like information dissemination so individuals can choose their best option for them.
And how does that work in correlation with your vision?
It works together due to the fact that everyone deserves to be healthy.
Right.
We live in a world with too much information and too many resources for folks to not be their healthiest. So I think the purpose and vision works together.
Yeah. When did you discover that was your purpose/vision?
I think I've always been a helper since my earliest memories. Even if I was when I was in high school and middle school, I helped different folks in different communities out. I have a best friend named Devin from high school, and I literally gave him a quarter every damn day to eat lunch. Right? And we laugh about it. I think of every August, I'm one of the people that go to Target and different stores and just buy school supplies and hand them out at the barbershops, hand them out in the parking lots, just because, of a helping nature. Even thinking about my extended family, my grandmother will give anybody anything off her back and out of her house. So I just think, I am one of those folks to help, and it feels great.
Yeah. It's something about, when we grow up and the way that we grow up in our environment and how we are, even in our younger days, all attributes to what our purpose is.
Absolutely.
So it's great that you found yours and sort of align that with your vision.
Yeah. I think of, Maya Angelou's master class, And if you learn, teach. If you get, give.
Mm,
And I think those are some of the lessons that I am led by every day of the week, every day of my life.
absolutely. So tell us about your journey to creating Thrive SS.
Oh my God, Lord. We sat back. So I'm one of three co-founders of Thrive Support Services, in addition to Larry Scott Walker and Dwayne Bridges. And in our earliest days, we sat back and we thought to the fact that does Atlanta need an additional community-based organization or a nonprofit? And for a very long time, we went back and forth with the answer of a no. And then finally, after not being able to routinely see young Black gay men, or even just Black gay men in general, seek additional support, specifically living with HIV, the writing was on the wall, and we created Thrive Support Services. So we started, the Thrive stands for Transforming HIV Resentment into Victory Everlasting.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah. So
I didn't
even
know it was an acronym.
so even in the name itself, it's a love story, and even amongst the three of us, I think of the fact that it was a love story of how we transformed living with HIV openly, as Black gay men, and I would definitely
Absolutely.
as we became more, I'll use an I statement, as I became more centered in um, the loving concept of thriving with HIV, I fully believe so did our organization. And ultimately, that led us to places that we didn't imagine, from creating the online support group to, a 5,600 square foot building, to leading national and international discussions on, thriving as Black gay men with HIV.
Is that what led you to being invited to speak at the DNC?
So, I'm a firm believer of always folks in rooms.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
pulling you pulling you to the next place unbeknownst to you. And I remember coming back from the 2016 International AIDS Conference, and it was in Durban, South Africa. And after flying 20 plus hours from Durban, making it home, I received a phone call Sunday afternoon, inviting me to speak about living with HIV for the Democratic National Convention. I don't know, who. I don't know the people in the room that made it so, but it was definitely a thank you. I never imagined being able to stand in front of 30,000 people plus the world, ultimately in perpetuity, discussing HIV. Especially as a Black gay man living in the South, and it was magical, and unreal, to say the least.
I'm sure. We spoke with Craig Stewart. I'm reading his book now called Book of Jewels,
Mhm.
and he talks about omens being left in like God's little gifts to let you know that you're on track and you're right in your purpose. So it's amazing how, again, the universe will open up those opportunities to you to continue your life's purpose and fulfilling your vision.
Oh, absolutely. I tell anyone that the universe loves me. I truly can't fathom um, all of the opportunities, that I have been privileged enough, to be molded from in to be molded into to help others. I think about um, I think about the last couple of months that I was in graduate school for my master's degree. And, I was told that I would not be graduating due to like volunteering hours. Um,
Mm.
I won't curse on your show, but
No, it's okay.
but
It's real.
but and then finding it okay and realizing that I would still be successful not completing the program on time. And I went on vacation, I read a book, and I started working. And I was in Baltimore. Getting ready to facilitate a meeting, and the actual room that we were facilitating this meeting was the room where they hashed out the Ryan White Part D program, right? And Part D specifically is for women, infant, and children, right? Um, and in that room, so like you have the essence of elders and people who have come and gone, and many of those folks will never know their name, right? But sitting in that room on a Wednesday, I received a phone call from the my institution, and they were like, after second thoughts, we're granting you the opportunity to participate in commencement 2 days from now.
Wow.
Get back home, and it literally, it like if you ever had an opportunity of feeling like the world stopping and turning the opposite direction, that's what it was.
Wow.
So I yes, the universe has been good to me.
Purpose.
Oh yeah.
When would you say that you fully understood what your purpose in life was?
That's a good one. Um, I I honestly believe we do not fully grasp that until we exit this plane.
That
Okay,
makes sense.
I I think in those last moments, we would be able to look back and say it all made sense. You know,
Yeah,
I think
that's good.
if we are lucky enough to be able to tap into the purest form of energy, I think we will hear. Um, I think we hear secrets, and we hear nudges to ensure that we stay in equilibrium. But I think at the end, that's when you fully can grasp um, your true purpose. That's what I believe.
Your purpose is your legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good stuff, Driffin. So you talked a little bit about challenges, that you had along the way of where you are now. And, we're always going to continue to have challenges. How do you stay on track, or how do we stay on track of focusing on our goal? We understand, and I completely agree with that statement that your purpose is your legacy. But vision, I feel, is very much so pointed in your purpose, different goals that you may have. So how do we stay on track? How did you stay on track?
I think we stay on track through like continuous improvement. I think that's one of the first steps. I think by continuous improvement is truly you defining what that means. I think second is enveloping yourself with a group of people who will do no harm, with you and to you. And I think that may look like a handful of your good, great Judies, that you call and say, girl, mm-mm,
That's not afraid to tell you no, too.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. You definitely need one or two to say, let's go back to this post-it board and
Right.
start the process over. And I think also it consists of, I think the last step probably would be just like truly self-love and finding, the most authentic way of loving yourself. Yeah.
I agree. We talk about earlier in the series, we talk a little bit about having a tribe, which is like, so you say like get good Judies. And when we say good Judies, ones who's ready to tell you, give you a pat on the back, as well as, check you and
Mhm.
make sure that you're still online. Who is that one person for you?
I have multiple ones. I think some of the folks that come to mind, and I'm looking at a picture right here. One of the ones is definitely Marvell Terry the second. Marvell a FaceTime or call in the middle of the earliest waking hours, like 6 o'clock in the morning. Driffin, I need to talk to you about something. I'm like, girl, like, sis, it's
Right.
like you can't hold this till 10. We
Right now.
So Marvell is one. I think of my other friends like, Chauncey Watson, Darwin Thompson, Matthew Rose, Blake Rowley. And then, it's my um, it's mentors that, I've always looked up to. So your Sheldon Fields, Mitchell Wharton, Orlando, Cornelius, Ernest, Rudy Karn, like all those people. And folks can always, I think those are the folks that, don't need the introductory email to reach out and touch you. Those are the people that just bring it, and I think having those folks in your life are valuable and needed, especially.
I'm so glad that you mentioned mentors because that's a necessary part of the tribe that we all need. What do you look for when you found your mentor? Maybe you weren't even looking, but I believe that you surround yourself with people who you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think surrounding ourselves with folks um, gives, or it begins to shine light on the roadmap, that you ultimately want to tap into. I remember, being in high school, and I always knew that I wanted to like work in the medical aspect, and I thought that had to be a doctor. And like my earliest mentor was probably Mitchell Wharton and Sheldon Fields, and I met those folks at 15 and 16,
Mhm.
so having two folks like that embedded in the community, leading like public health studies, nursing studies, and things like that, and just like good black gay research, um, you know, led me in the way that I wanted to go. Not even knowing or not fully grasping the concept of public health. Um, and being able to create health for populations, instead
Mm.
of the individual approach with medicine. So I think that's amazing. Being surrounded by Black gay men who created organizations to save their lives, to save their friends' lives. It led me, to create an organization to do the same thing. Um, so I definitely think having mentors, being surrounded by colleagues, provide us additional roadmaps that we need. I
Of
definitely
course.
think you have to see it to emulate it.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's good. You have to see it to emulate it.
Mhm.
So, what's next for Daniel Driffin?
Baby,
What's next?
when I find out, I will let you know on the Facebook. No, but I actually start my doctoral program in August. So
Nice.
yeah, so I'm completing. Thank you.
Scholarship, education. Love it.
So I'm completing a doctoral degree in public health at Georgia State University. So it's a 3-year full-time program. I am one of 10 folks in the cohort. I think I'm the only Black male, definitely the only Black gay male living with HIV in the cohort. And I'm really excited because I like learning, like I'm really a nerd.
Mhm.
I really so I'm excited about that. But I'm just truly excited to be able to really learn additional techniques to create a health system that I haven't seen yet. I think of Toni Morrison, writing her first book at the age of 39 or 40. It is as a result of not reading what she had always longed to read.
Mm.
So, I have not seen a culturally affirming health system. So I said, let me go to this little schoolhouse, honey, and get another
Get
little,
my education.
get the schoolwork, honey, and come back and create that health system that I want to see. Give
Right.
yourself the grace to improve. There's no one way to get to the finish line. So be willing to love yourself while finding the best path for you.
Awesome. Daniel Driffin, thank you so much for being here.